Dear students, today we'll discuss another chapter from class 7, Physical and Chemical Changes. I am Baren Vishwas from cabin number 1, Bhubaneswar. Generally, we have many substances around us, and all these substances have certain properties such as state, size, shape, color, smell, temperature, composition, even structures. So mostly we can divide those substances in solids, gases and liquids. So when one or more properties of these substances become different, then we can say some changes has occurred. For example, when you place the water in the freezer, then it will become ice. So in the water and the ice, there are different states of the water. Water is in liquid state, whereas ice is in solid state. So that's why we can say there are so many changes that are happening in our surroundings. So these changes may involve one or more substances. For example, making a sugar solution is a change. Similarly, setting curd from milk is a change. Souring of milk is a change. Stretched rubber band is also a change. So whatever may be the changes, there are so many changes surrounds us. So all those changes can be categorized, can be grouped into two types. They are either physical change or chemical change. So let us discuss the first change, that is physical changes. Let us consider some examples. Let us discuss in detail. Cutting a piece of paper into various pieces and then arrange them side by side as shown in the figure given below. For example, you are having a strip of paper, initially cut down into 2 pieces, further into 4 pieces, take the quadrant of the paper and further cut it into 4 pieces. But that means we are having in total 7 pieces we are having. So if you place side by side all these pieces, you will have the same paper as that of the before. But the thing is, initially it was a complete one paper, but now there are pieces of papers. But there is no change in the state. So here we can say the piece of paper underwent changes in size. Similarly, another example, if we boil some water in a container, then some steam will rise from the surface of the water after some time. Let us hold an inverted pan by its handle over the steam at some distance from the boiling water. So we will observe that the inner surface of the pan will get filled with droplet of water. That is the steam that is coming out from the hot water, that is in vapor state. But when it will strike the handle, then it will condense into liquid form. So there is a change in state. So the vapor is in gaseous state, it changes into liquid state when it strikes the handle of the inverted pan. So that's why in this particular change, there was a change in state. The water changed its state, that is from gas to liquid. Third example, hold a used hacksaw blade with a pair of tongues. Keep the tip of the free end on the flame of a gas stove. Wait for a few minutes. So what will happen, as the hacksaw blade consists of iron and it is a metal that is a good conductor of heat. So after some time, the tip of the hacksaw blade will change its color. So the color of the tip of the blade generally changes to red. Then remove the blade from the flame, wait for some more time, then what we'll see? We'll see that the tip once again regain its original color. So in this particular example, we can say the hacksaw blade changed color on heating. Initially it was colorless. When it was shown to the flame, after some time it became red. Take out the hacksaw blade from the flame, wait for some time, once again the red color will change to colorless. So here the change is on the basis of color. So properties such as shape, size, color and state of a substance are generally referred as physical properties. So from the activities discussed so far, we can conclude one thing, that is a change in which substance undergoes a change in its physical properties such as shape, size, color and state is called a physical change. Once again I am repeating, a change in which a substance undergoes a change in its physical properties such as shape, size, color and state is called a physical change. The features of physical change are, this is generally reversible. For example, if you keep the water in freezer, it become ice. Take out the ice from the freezer and keep it in the surrounding, then it will become water once again. So that means you can say physical change is generally reversible. In physical change, no new substance is formed. So there is no new substance will come out in the physical change. Now let us discuss some other examples. Get a small piece of thin strip or ribbon of magnesium. Clean its tip with sandpaper. So generally we use sandpaper because the magnesium, when it come in contact with air, generally it forms a thin layer around it, that is magnesium oxide layer. So unless and until that thin layer is removed with the help of sandpaper, it will not catch fire. So that's why it has to be cleaned with the help of sandpaper. Then next what to do? Bring the tip near a candle flame. It burns with a brilliant white light. When it is completely burnt, it leaves behind a powdery ash, and that powdery ash is different from the magnesium ribbon. So the powdery ash is magnesium oxide. So the change can be represented by the following equation. Magnesium plus oxygen gives magnesium oxide. So here what happens, the substance that we are getting, magnesium oxide, is different from the magnesium. So there is a change in the substance. That means we are getting a new substance from the original substance. So this is not a physical change. We cannot say this is a physical change because one of the feature of physical change is there should not be formation of any new substance. Then what we have to do, we will proceed further to this particular experiment. Collect the ash and mix it with a small amount of water. Stir the mixture and that solution will be known as aqueous solution. Aqueous solution means the solution in which water is involved, or the solution in water. The water will be the solvent. So those solution will be called as your aqueous solution. So test the mixture with blue and red litmus papers. The mixture turned red litmus blue. So what it suggests? It suggests it is basic in nature. But if you put the solution, magnesium oxide solution, on the blue litmus, it will change to red. It will not change to red. On the basis of this test, we conclude that the aqueous solution of magnesium oxide is basic. On dissolving the ash in water, it forms a new substance, and this change can be written in the form of the following equation, and the equation is magnesium oxide plus water gives magnesium hydroxide. So that means initially what we are having, magnesium oxide in this particular experiment, when we are taking the aqueous solution, the initial substance is magnesium oxide. When it is taken in water, it forms another substance, and that substance is not magnesium oxide, that is magnesium hydroxide. So that is a new substance. So magnesium oxide is a new substance formed on burning of magnesium, and similarly magnesium hydroxide is another new substance formed by mixing magnesium oxide with water. Let us consider another example. dissolve about a teaspoonful of copper sulfate, which is generally known as blue vitriol, in about half a cup of water in glass tumbler or a beaker. Add a few drops of sulfuric acid to the solution. So what will happen? We'll get a blue colored solution. Then next what you have to do? We have to save a small sample of the solution in a test tube or a small glass bottle for future reference. Then what you have to do? Drop a used shaving blade into the remaining solution. So blade is made up of iron. So what we are doing? We are putting the iron blade into the solution having copper sulfate. We have to wait for half an hour or more than that. So after that, what we will observe? We will observe that this color of the solution will change. Initially it was blue, it will become green. And when you take out the blade from the solution, you will see that some brownish coating will be there over the shaving blade. So that's why it is written here, observe the color of the solution when shaving blade is added to the copper sulfate solution. So after half an hour we have to observe the color with the previously saved solution in a small glass bottle. We will see some changes in the color of the solution. So whatever I have said, that is I am going to read out that. We will see some changes in the color of the solution. Take out the blade, there is some changes in the blade also. The changes that we notice are due to a reaction between copper sulfate and iron. The change of color of the solution from blue to green is due to the formation of iron sulfate, that is a new substance. Here what happens, iron is more reactive than copper, that's why what happened, iron is going into the solution and copper is coming out of the copper sulfate solution. And that copper is depositing over the iron blade, that's why we are getting a brownish color coating on the blade. And the solution, in the solution iron is there, iron is replacing copper, that's why the iron sulfate solution is green in color. So here what happens, as there was a formation of iron sulfate, okay, so initially it was not there, that means we are getting a new substance from the original substance. So a new substance has been made by reacting a substance with another substance. So this kind of change is also not at all a physical change. The brown deposit on the iron nail is copper, that already I mentioned. That is another new substance. So we can write the reaction as copper sulfate solution, which is blue in color, reacts with iron, that is plus iron, gives iron sulfate solution plus copper. Next, let us consider another example. Take about a teaspoonful of vinegar in a test tube. Add a pinch of baking soda to it. You would hear a hissing sound and see bubbles of gas coming out. You can do this at your home. Pass this gas thoroughly into a freshly prepared lime water solution. So what happens to the lime water? So generally, initially when there was a reaction between vinegar and baking soda, a gas is coming out. That gas is carbon dioxide gas. So when the carbon dioxide gas will be passed through the lime water, generally the lime water will turn milky. So the change in the test tube is as follows. In equation wise, we can write vinegar plus baking soda gives carbon dioxide, water and some other substances. So that other substances you will read that in higher classes. That is sodium acetate, that you will read in higher classes. So for your standard you can write simply other substances. The reaction between carbon dioxide and lime water is as follows. So when the carbon dioxide is passed through the lime water solution with the help of a bent tube, the solution become milky. And that milkiness is due to the formation of a new substance called calcium carbonate. And the equation is represented as carbon dioxide plus lime water gives calcium carbonate and water. Or you can say CO2 plus CaOH whole 2 gives CaCO3 plus H2O. So in this experiment also, a new substance is formed. So whatever the examples that we have discussed, we can conclude one thing, that in all these experiments a new substance were formed. So this is not not an example of physical change, rather than all of them are chemical change. So now we can define the chemical change. So the change in which one or more new substances are formed is called a chemical change. A chemical change is also called a chemical reaction. Chemical changes are very important in our lives because we are getting a new substance. So whenever you are getting a new substance from by reacting two or more substances together, then that particular substances will have many uses in our day-to-day life. So we can say all new substances are formed as a result of chemical changes. Whenever there will be formation of new substances, that means a chemical reaction must have been taken place in that particular situation. Let us take some other examples. Metal is extracted from the ore, such as iron from iron ore. Okay, so we have to carry out the chemical changes. Without the help of chemical changes, iron cannot be extracted from iron ore, and that is hematite. A medicine is the end product of a chain of chemical reactions. The medicines that we are using whenever we are feeling ill, or whenever we are infected with some disease, generally we prefer medicines, and medicine is the end product of chain of chemical reactions. So that's why we are saying that chemical reactions are very important for our day-to-day life. Useful new materials such as plastics and detergents are produced by chemical reactions. Indeed, every new material is discovered by studying chemical changes. We have seen that one or more new substances are produced in a chemical change. In addition to new products, the following may accompany a chemical change. That means whenever there is a chemical change, some properties you can encounter, some changes you can see. By considering those changes, you can say that okay, the chemical changes has been taken place. So what are those features? Those features are heat, light, or any other radiations may be given off or absorbed. So whenever there is a heat or light or any other radiations are given off during the reaction, then you can say that is a chemical change. Sound may be produced. This is another feature of chemical reaction. A change in smell may take place, or a new smell may be given off. So that is also due to the chemical reaction. Means you can say chemical reaction has been taken place. The fourth feature is a color change may also takes place. A gas, then the fifth one is a gas may be formed. So these are the features, 5 features from which we can say that a chemical reaction may have occurred. Let us discuss one important concept, rusting of iron. If you leave a piece of iron in the open for some time, it acquires a film of brownish substance. This substance is called rust, and the process is called rusting. Iron gates of parks or farmlands, iron benches kept in lawns and gardens, almost every article of iron, if you keep those in open, that will get rusted. At home, you must have seen shovels and spades getting rusted when exposed to the atmosphere for some time. In the kitchen, a wet iron pan, that is tawa, often gets rusted if left in the state for some time. Thankfully, the rusting process is a very slow process. So if it would have been a fast process, then we may have a serious loss. So these are some photos regarding your rusting. Since iron is used in making bridges, ships, cars, truck bodies and many other articles, the monetary loss due to rusting is used. So if you keep the iron as it is in the open atmosphere, definitely after some days there will be rusting. So it is this kind of change, although it is a chemical change, but it is not beneficial to us, it is harmful to us. So we have to protect it. So that's why in this particular junction we can say the chemical, sometimes the chemical change may be beneficial to us, it may be harmful to us. So rusting of iron is harmful to us. So we have to save the iron, we have to do something so that the rusting can be prevented. The process of rusting can be represented by the following equation: iron plus oxygen plus water gives rust. That means for the rusting process, oxygen and water plays a crucial role. So then that means if the oxygen will not come directly in contact with iron, or water vapor or water will not come directly in contact with iron, then rusting process can be avoided. So that means we have to protect the iron, we have to either we can paint it so that the oxygen cannot come in direct contact with iron. So in this way the rusting of iron can be prevented. For rusting, the presence of both oxygen and water or water vapor is essential. In fact, if the content of moisture in air is high, which means if it is more humid, rusting becomes faster. So how do you prevent rusting? Prevent the iron particles from coming in contact with oxygen or water or both. So this is the method by which you can prevent rusting. So don't allow the iron to come in direct contact with oxygen and or water or both. One simple way is to apply a coat of paint or grease. In fact, these coats should be applied regularly to prevent rusting. Another way is to deposit a layer of a metal like chromium or zinc on iron. So in this case what will happen, as zinc or chromium is more reactive than iron, so they will react with oxygen first rather than iron. In this way the rusting of iron can be prevented. So the process of depositing a layer of zinc on iron is called galvanization. The iron pipes we use in our homes to carry water are galvanized to prevent rusting. We know that ships are made up of iron and a part of them remains underwater. Generally, and ships travels in sea and which contains lot of salts. On the part above the water also, water drops keep clinging to the ship's outer surface. Moreover, the water on the sea contains many salts. The salt water makes the process of rust formation faster. Therefore, ships suffer a lot of damage from rusting in spite of being painted. So much so that a fraction of ship's iron has to be replaced every year. Because of rusting, each year you have to replace some part or the other part. Next process is crystallization. Salt can be obtained by the evaporation of seawater. The salt obtained in this manner is not pure and its crystals are small. The shape of the crystals cannot be seen clearly. However, large crystals of pure substances can be formed from their solutions, and that process is called crystallization. It is an example of a physical change. Take a cupful of water in a beaker and add a few drops of dilute sulfuric acid. Heat the water. When it starts boiling, add copper sulfate powder slowly while stirring continuously. Continue adding copper sulfate powder till no more powder can be dissolved. So that solution is regarded as saturated solution. Then what you have to do? Filter the solution allow it to cool. Do not disturb the solution when it is cooling. So when the cooling process is over, look at the solution. You will see that some crystals of copper sulfate will be formed. If it is not formed, wait for some more time. So don't disturb the solution, just wait for some more time. Definitely you will get the crystals of copper sulfate. So this is about the chapter physical and chemical changes. Thank you.